was asked if I would like, by my agent, if I would like to work with Dr. Seuss, and of course, I didn't know much about that business, but it was impossible not to know about Dr. Seuss, as I'd love to.
I got a call from MGM one morning saying, can you come out tomorrow and work for 2 or 3 hours? And I looked at my book and I was available.
I was 4.5 years old when I first played the piano in my parents' home. I was 14 years old when I decided to become a professional musician. And I started writing music, and it's a funny thing to say, I think I knew how to write music before I knew how to tie my shoelaces.
I was singing in the choir at the church where we went, and the choir director told me that Paramount was auditioning singers. And I had studied piano, so I was a musician. And I went over to Paramount and sang about 8 bars, and they said, thank you very much. Don't call us, we'll call you.
I had already gotten a Tony for another show I wrote called Redhead when my agent said, how would you like to work with Dr. Seuss? And I said, of course. But I tell you this, make him come to our house, and I get the job. He said, but this is Dr. Seuss. I said, no, don't make him come to our house because I'm such a big shot. Make him come to our house because I have a better piano. He had sent me a lyric, and it was a lyric called, "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." And I decided to write it on spec, because although I had some pretty good credits at the time, I realized that this man is not interested in my credits. He wants to know what we can do together. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You've got termites in your smile. So when he came, I played him one chorus. You've got all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. And he looked up and said, any man that can slide an octave on the word Grinch gets the job.
Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile.
I didn't know anything about the Grinch, and I got a call and I went out to MGM, and there were, I guess about 8 singers, 4 guys and 4 gals, and we did all the singing for the people of Whoville with all those weird lyrics that Geisel used to write.
Trim up the tree with Christmas stuff, like bingo balls and hoo-hoo fluff. Trim up the tree with goo-goo gums and basil tweaks and ones.
Trim every blessed window and trim every blessed door.
Hang up hoo-boo-hoo bricks,
then run out and get some more.
And toward the end of the session, I guess it was the music director, said, Thurl, here's a solo we'd like you to try. And they handed me the music, and we went through it with the orchestra a couple of times and made 2 or 3 takes, and that was it.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
We finished the session, which probably didn't take over a couple of hours for the whole thing. As we finished it and were in the control room listening to the last playbacks, Chuck and Ted turned to each other and said, well, that takes care of this Christmas. What'll we do for next Christmas? After it came out and it was a success, I remembered Ted Geisel, Dr. Seuss, told me how sorry he was that I hadn't gotten screen credit. And he said, I'm going to write a note to most of the big writers of columns, telling them to correct my error.
Theodore Geisel is a genius. No question. I have had the privilege of working with a handful, maybe 4 or 5 geniuses, like Bob Fosse and Dorothy Fields, but he was definitely one of them.
The story is so beautiful. The real meaning of Christmas, which often gets put aside.
Strangely, the writing of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which turned out to be so successful, had no effect on my... in other words, I never was asked to do another cartoon or anything like that. I will never understand that.
It was hard to know if anything, any one particular thing, increased my career or not. I know Tony being around, of course, so long, everybody knew me and knew my voice. And, of course, the Grinch helped again, but to put any one thing as saying this did something for my career, I couldn't tell you.
Years later, when I was lecturing in a college, I was on Fame, so I was treated with much respect. And I casually said that I am the composer of the songs of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and the house fell in.
Nobody ever dreamed that it would become a classic.
Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
When I was 14 years old, I mentioned to my then widowed mother that I was going to be a musician. And she said, well, you're going to be a bum for the rest of your life. So I want you to be an educated bum. You have to go to college. Also, she said, learn how to play the piano well. You'll always get a bowl of soup.
If you have a talent and you keep trying and you're recognized, then give it everything you've got, every job you get.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.